Hello and welcome to the basics of the CMS. Today I'm going to show you just a few things to get you started with creating your map. With that being said, we're going to go through the locations, a bit of the options, the styles, 2.0 styles, as well as the publish and the help site. Now we're not going to go over everything. You can schedule an advanced training with your client success manager at any time to go through the CMS thoroughly. This is just to give you some insight to get going. So with that being said, let's jump right into the options tab. Now, the reason why I took you to the options tab first is because this is the tab that gives all the tools for the first impression of your map and really the basic fundamentals of how your map reacts when users are using it. I'm just going to show you the default and the mobile view for now. Again, all of these other ones will come along with the advanced training. But if you are curious, please do feel free to peruse and just hover over the top of these question marks. It'll give you a pop-up balloon showing you a little bit of information about what that tool will do for you. So with that being said, let's jump into the default and the mobile view. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find your border, which will be laid out for you. Of course, you know what your boundary areas are of your business or your campus or whatever the case may be you're using the map for. And then what you're going to want to do is zoom into that area. So I'm just going to take this Lake Minnetonka area here of the Twin Cities and zoom right into it. I want to make sure that I have all of the lakes within view. And once I do and I have it centered and I like where we're at just as it is so, I'm going to click on Set View and Zoom. Now, you're going to do the same exact thing for the mobile view. You're just going to want to zoom in further because, of course, a mobile device screen is much smaller than a desktop screen. So you're going to want to have that starting spot in closer to the render so people can see it and it's easier for them to use. But just for now, we're going to do the default view for the desktop version. Hit Save. When you hit Save, you'll notice once it is saved that it'll go up into the Publish tab. And there's your publish options. So you don't need to publish everything all at one or one at a time. You can publish a whole handful of things at once, which I'll show you here in just a bit. Let's jump over to Locations tab, which we are right here. And this is where you're going to create categories and locations, otherwise known as map content. So with categories, you can have subcategories, you can have sub-subcategories, etc. But you need a category for locations to live in. So let's create categories first. You simply click on Create New Category, and you'll see again a whole bunch of tools that we're not going to go over here right now, but we'll go over just the few here at the top: the title, marker and list icon, as well as category. And again, the question marks are there for you to utilize. So I'm just going to quickly create a category called Test, and I'm going to save that. You'll notice that it shows up here at the bottom. Reason being is because everything is going to be organized in alphabetical order. Of course, 360 Pano shows up here at the top because it's a number, and I have actually moved this one to the top numerically through one of our tools you can see here in the list position. Again, we'll cover more of that stuff in the advanced training. So now that we have the test category here, let's create a subcategory. So I'm going to go back into New Category, and I'm going to call this one Test 2. I'm going to go down to the category area because this is where you decide if you want it to be a parent category or if you want it to be a child or subcategory, if you will. So since we're making this a subcategory, I'm going to click on Main Index, and then I'm going to go down to Test and click on that. It's just that simple. I'm going to save it, open it up, and there it is. Now, if we want to do a subcategory, it's the same exact thing. We're going to go Test 3, except you'll notice now Test has a little plus button next to it. If we click on Test, it's just going to be another subcategory under Test. Well, we don't want that. We want to open up that plus button and we want to make it a subcategory, so we're going to put it under Test 2. Save that, and as you can see, there's Test 2 and Test 3. That easy. So now we're going to publish these so we can add locations to them. Don't worry about these question marks. As you can see in the information balloon, this category can't be published unless you publish its parent first, which is the test category. So we're just going to select all because we know that we have done these edits or these saves. But if you are working with other people in the CMS, and let's say there's 15 published items here, but you've only done 3 or 4 of them, please just go in and select whatever one you have done. Otherwise, people will notice that their stuff is missing, which can cause some problems. Any questions on that, please be in touch. But I'm going to go to select all because I know that we've done them. And once those are published, now I can jump back up in the Publish tab and publish our other categories, which are sub and sub-sub category. All right, now that we've had fun with categories, we can do locations. But actually, before we do, I want to show you one thing. Let's say you made a mistake and you wanted to actually just make this test 3 a subcategory under the test parent category. You can actually edit any category just by simply clicking on the edit button right next to it. So you jump right in, and I want to move that up to test, and there we go. It's that simple. So now it's going to be a subcategory under test. We'll go back in and publish it. And now we're ready to add new locations. So adding a new location is the fun part. Go ahead and click on it. This is where you can add all of your media. This is where you, of course, name it up here. And a whole slew of items, uploading images, adding videos, giving description and keywords for people to search. But before we do that, we're going to want to notate on the map where this location is. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of tools over here on the right-hand side. There's the marker, polygon, polyline, circle, rectangle, polymarker, and our shape options. I'm going to go through every single one of these for you because they're necessary to notate these locations properly, or how you'd like to. There is one other tool, and that is the address bar at the top. Now, this is great for locations that maybe you're not familiar with around your boundary, but you want to have them in there for users, whether it be hotel information or transport information, whatever the case may be. As long as you have Google and you have the address, all you need to do is pop it in. 10125 Crosstown Circle. That is where our office is here for the production side in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. So you can see that it'll actually auto-populate some areas too. So just click on the one that is yours, and it'll automatically drop a pin for you on that location. Now, let's say we didn't want to use a marker, or the marker's in the wrong spot. Well, you can simply move that marker wherever you want to and drop it. If you don't want to use the marker at all, you can hit X, and you can use whatever tool you'd want to use. But let's just say we want to use the marker anyways. So you click on it, and you drop it. Move it around, zoom in, be absolutely strategic with wherever you want to place it, no problem. All right, there's your marker. Well, let's take a look at the polygon now. So the polygon can be used for a whole bunch of things. Outlining a building, outlining construction areas. Maybe you want to show where an event is being held for the future. It's a clickable item, so it's just like a location. It can have a description information, everything, just like a marker would or any other tool that you use. So let's click on polygon and show you how that works. First, you just click on the map, and then you drag and click wherever you want to place a node. So to end the shape, you just click on the first node that you have created. And there you go. You have your polygon. Now, you can see that there are transparent nodes that have showed up between the opaque nodes. Those are there for you to customize this shape and really fine tune it however you want to. So if we zoom in, you can see I can grab a hold of the opaque node and stretch it out. Okay? Nothing happens except the lines move. Now, if I grab the transparent node, it becomes opaque, and then on the side, 2 transparent nodes will show up once I let it go. This is, like I said earlier, gives you the ability to fine tune it and make whatever shape you would like. So if you are doing something for a landscaped area or a new construction area, whatever the case may be, you can make it whatever shape you want. If you make a mistake, go ahead and just click on the opaque nodes, and they will then disappear. So Once we have the shape how we want it, then you can go into your shape options. Now, shape options will give you a bunch of different things that you can utilize depending on what tool you have. Shape options will affect the polygon, the polyline, the circle, and the rectangle. So with that being said, we want this to be, let's go with blue. Now, that's going to be the stroke. That's going to be the outside line. All we got to do is copy and paste that right into the fill, and now we have that beautiful blue color for our stroke and our fill. You can use your branding codes here if you want to have colors that coincide with your branding. You can do that, and you can utilize the transparency bar or whatever you want to in here with the color selector and the fader. Now, if you want to have this a little more interactive where when people hover over it, it's a different color, you can do so by clicking off of that check there that's on same or right here by the hover. So what you'll do is you'll click on it and choose whatever color you want to. Let's go with a nice orange. And just like last time, we're going to click off of there and then copy and paste right into there. And now when I hover over it, it turns into that orange. Super simple. You can also change the pixelation size of the lines if you want to as well. Maybe you want to show a road closure and you're using a line. You'd want to do something like that so it takes up the space of the road. All right, now if you want to have a marker icon along with the polygon, you simply click on Show Marker Icon and you can see that this X has appeared within the polygon. This is independent of the polygon, so you can move this to wherever you want and situate it anywhere you want within the shape or even outside of the shape, but wouldn't make much sense out there. So go ahead and keep it within the shape. All right, now moving along, that is your polygon. Here is your polyline. One thing I want you to notice is that X has stuck around. So you need to actually X that out in the shape options for it to disappear. No worries if you let it just do what I just did right there. Create another shape and you can exit out, no problem. So with the line is great for showing path, road closures, like I was saying before, showing an area which you don't want to have it to be a polygon. Simply click on the line and click on the screen. And wherever you click, a node will drop just like with the polygon, except to end this shape, you don't click on the first node that you created, you'll just double click. And that shape is then done. Now you can treat it like a polygon, you can connect it if you want to, but it's going to have to be done manually. And just like the polygon as well, everything is manipulated by you through the nodes. Same thing with all the colors and the hover and the show marker icon. Okay, very simple. Again, if you make a mistake, just click on the opaque nodes. And you can always stretch it out and redo it. Super simple. So moving forward, we're going to jump into the circles, which is, you guessed it, a generic circle. So you can increase or decrease the size by grabbing the side node, or you can move it all together by grabbing the middle node. Again, all of your shape options are there for you, as well as the hover color, etc. The rectangle is a square or a rectangle, whatever you want to make it. It's going to work just like the circle. You're going to grab it by the center to move it, and you can utilize the sides to increase or decrease the shape and size. Also, with all of these, you can zoom in or out at any time. Okay, pretty simple. Now I want to show you the poly marker, which is a great tool for very generic items, being ADA parking spaces, Wi-Fi locations, bike racks, and so on. Things that don't need a whole lot of description or the same description. So this is going to be a time saver for you for those things. So let's just say all of these building areas are actually Wi-Fi hotspots. So I'm going to click on it and drop as many pins as I want to for all those Wi-Fi locations. Now whether you drop 5 or 500, it's all going to be recognized as one location. So whatever you put inside of here on the sidebar is going to show up for every single one of them. Okay. Now, if you make a mistake with these, you don't have to delete it out and redo your work. That would be horrible. All you need to do is click on whatever ones you do not want to have, or grab and drag just like you did before. It's that simple. So once we have created one of our locations, we're going to call this the lake. Now, what we'll want to do is put it in whatever category we want to put it in. So we're going to put it down in the test category, not test 2 or 3, just the regular test category, and save it. Now, when we click on the test category, there it is. If we made a mistake and we actually didn't want it in the test category, we want it in test 2, very simple. Go ahead and click on the edit button for that location, go back up to the category, and hit your plus button to get into the subcategory area and click on test 2. One thing I want you to notice is it is actually in both of them. So be cognizant of that. A location can be placed in multiple categories. It's a pro and a con. So if you want to have a location in multiple categories, maybe a coffee shop that's in a cafeteria and you have a dining category and a coffee category, you'd want to do something like that. But for now, I just want to have it in test 2. So now I'm going to save it, and it's no longer under test, it's under test 2. And it's up in the publish tab there for us to publish when we're ready. But first I'm just going to create another location here, and we'll pop it into test 3. So now, depending on what category I click on, only those locations will show up with the category that I clicked on. Fun, right? All right, so moving on, we want to add information to our location. So we're going to call this Lake 2. We're going to put it in the test 2 category along with the other lake, and we're going to upload our images by just clicking on that select file button, and then you can utilize your computer for whatever files you'd like to place. They will then pop up in here as thumbnails, which you can then move around and organize however you'd like. You also have the ability to put external images in here via URL, and then click add. If it won't let you add it, it's probably because it has some sort of parameters around logging in, which isn't going to work. You're going to have these images pulled from a public place that can be accessed, or a local server of your own. You can also add YouTube videos or Vimeo videos. They cannot be private, but go ahead and add it right in there, and then click add, and then it'll accept it, and you'll see that there. The description area, this is where you're going to type in as much information or as little information as you want to, and you can utilize all these formatting tools, as well as the ability to create a link. Once you do so, you can pop your URL into there, and you can actually set it so it opens up in the iframe, in a new window, or the same window. Of course, you just hit insert and you're done. Pretty simple. Now, the keywords area of the location are going to be aliases, or otherwise known as, of the location that people might be looking for. So Lake 2 is actually this Arrowhead Lake over here. So I would put in Arrowhead. I would put in lake. I would put in swim area, boats, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. One thing is you don't need to mimic the name up here. So I actually didn't need lake up here because the title is also searchable. Okay. So other than that, all these other items that I'm not going to go over right now are more of the advanced items. So we'll speak to those again on the advanced training call that you can have with your Client Success Manager. So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and save this one as well. Oh, what happened there? I guess I forgot to place a pin or put a shape on. So I'm going to get a little bit more creative here, and I am going to draw a polygon around the lake. We'll do this quickly, of course. And we can alter this line however we want to. But just to show you what a polygon looks like after you saved it. So if I go ahead and click on test 2, you can see that that polygon pops right up. All right. Now I am going to go up to the Publish tab and select all because I know that I did all 3 of them and publish. Next step, we are going to jump into the Styles and the 2.0 Styles tab. You're not going to use the Styles tab for anything user facing. All of that is going to be done in the 2.0 Styles tab. So really, this is pretty much obsolete. I just wanted to speak to it just because it's there and I want you to know what it's all about. So disregard anything in here. This is only going to style what admins see here in the CMS. Where you're going to want to put your focus is the 2.0 styles. And I'm going to go through all of this because obviously there's a lot of information here, but as I've scrolled down, you can see that they have headers. Now all of these headers are speaking to the areas in which the tools below it are going to affect it. So you can play around in here. If you have any kind of questions, reach out to your client success manager. They're always happy to help. But just to show you a couple quick things, you can see here if you want to add an image, it gives you the recommended pixel size. So you can click on this area or select a file. Either one, you can upload your image that way. There's some information here, as you can see, for the ADA compliant colors. And if you want to add colors of your own, you're just going to click on that area and it's going to look just like the shape options for creating a location. You can go ahead and place your branding codes down there, click off of it, and it'll save your color. So if I go ahead and just click that blue again and click off, oops, I had to move it over because it was staying white. So if I click off, there you'll see it turns into the blue. So you can also do different types of text, fonts, and sizes in the areas that are available to you. So you'll just click on those, pick whatever font you want, and then of course whatever size you would like as well. Again, if you have any kind of questions, please feel free to reach out to your client success manager, or if you're not certain what is affecting what, go ahead and reach out. We're always happy to help. Moving on, we already spoke to the Publish tab. Now we're going to jump into the help site. The help site is a great place for you if it's on the weekend or you're on some downtime, maybe our office is closed and you want to try to find some information, you can do so right here. Just like I said earlier with the marker and list icons, if I search for marker list or marker or list or whatever, you can go ahead and click right on that and it'll tell you everything about the marker and list icons. It gives you the area in which you need to download those folders to utilize for your marker and list icons. Pretty simple and a lot of fun. So with that said, that is the basics of getting your map started. We are looking forward to working with you, and please don't hesitate to reach out, have fun, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.